And welcome in to Tennessee Tuesday. It's Tuesday evening, June the 23rd. I'm your host, John Blankenship of the program. Next to me is my co-host, Jason Boshears. Next to me, as in a few counties away across the state of Tennessee. And joining us a little further east is Tony Griffin this evening, who is the Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief of the Sons of Confederate Veterans. He'll be our guest tonight, and we've got a great program lined up for you this evening. We'll be talking about things happening SCV nationally as well, and, of course, Tennessee Division. We've just come off of a big weekend in Chapel Hill at the Nathan Bedford Forrest Boyhood Home. And, Jason, that was a successful event, one of the larger crowds we've had in a few years, and I think the weather really played into that.
Oh, you're so correct. We had a great turnout. I want to thank everybody who came, and the weather was good compared to last year. Last year it was humid, and this year was a great deal better. And we had, I'm going to say, well over 500 people in attendance. I know from having the walkie-talkie with me that until about 11 o'clock, they were having parking issues. We had so many people there. So, and that's a good problem to have.
Absolutely, it is. And as we get the program started tonight, we'll be talking more about that, by the way. We've got some photographs to show you from the evening. Our disclaimer is, of course, the views and opinions you hear on this broadcast are totally our own. They're not the views of the SCV. It's GEC, the divisions, the brigades, and the camps, and so forth. These are solely our opinions tonight. But we do thank you for being a part of the program with us each week. Always, we try to have a good show lined up for you. Interesting topics. We've done historical topics, Jason. We've got interviews like tonight, as we'll be talking with Tony, and we appreciate him being with us. And we'll have a variety of other things coming up this summer. And before we know it, we'll be wrapping up season 2 of Tennessee Tuesday. It's hard to believe we're, Jason, how many? About 45 programs, I think, something like that now that are under our belt.
I believe so. I think this is our 23rd episode of the second season.
So after you put the first in, we're moving along, and we want to continue to be here a long time doing this. Again, we want to say thank you to our sponsors, and that's a variety of different levels that you can sponsor our broadcast. And of course, on SCV Chat, we'll be telling you about those throughout the evening and the different levels of sponsorships. And soon we've got some new show sponsors that we know are going to be coming on with us, and we're excited to bring those to you. And as you see those scrolling across the bottom, and we'll do that throughout the program at times tonight, these folks have partnered with us, Jason, to make the show possible. You want to talk a little bit about some of those folks and how you can become a show sponsor as well?
Yes, I will. Thank you, Commander. And I want to thank everybody who has gone through the Patreon sponsorship, because you make the show possible. You've heard us say how much just the subscription to StreamYard is every year. And your Patreon sponsorship helps a great deal with that. And you can join at different levels. You can go to scvchat.com and go to the Patreon button there, or you can go to Patreon and look up SCV_chat, and you can sponsor us that way. Now, we have the Feed the Moose level, which is our entry level. It's $2.50 a month, and that goes a long way. And I want to thank people who have done that. Our next level is the Real Chathead level, and that's $10 a month. And for that, you get to see some behind the scenes stuff, the programs that that we're working on. You'll see, you see the shows that they're doing on Monday night. Yeah. You will know about those ahead of time and what the guys are going to be talking about. And then you have the merchandise level, and that's at $30 a month. And then every so often, every few months, they'll send you a really nice deal in the mail. Most of the time, it's a little sticker or something like that, but it's not anything that Harrison, Moose, or Connor get. So this is special merchandise just for the people who join at the merchandise level. And then we have the show sponsor level, and that's at $80 a month. And John, do you want to talk about those?
Yeah, we're going to go through those here in just a few moments. We'll touch on them into our first break here and talk about our show sponsors, and also tell you how you can become a show sponsor. We've had a lot of inquiries about that, and we're going to be changing some of those up a little bit in time. We're going to produce some more videos as well for our sponsors and show some of these locations and their business. So we want to continue to develop this program and even add more content to it. Before we jump in and talk with Tony Griffin tonight, we do need to say hello to a few folks that have joined on, as we always do. We wouldn't do this show if there was nobody watching and listening to it. We thank you for being faithful to be here each week. And Johnny Jenkins is always one of our faithful viewers from Springfield, Missouri. He's here with us tonight, as always. Johnny. Others are Randy. Of course, Randy was with us Saturday at the Boyhood Home, and I know he enjoyed that, and good to see him there, and always appreciate him watching the program. Say hello to Daniel again this evening. Daniel is on with us each week, too. And up in Tullahoma, our friend Al, of course, he's always on with us each week, and we do appreciate that. We appreciate all these folks sharing our video out as well. When you do that, that's how you grow this and more viewers come on and learn about us. We like when you like it, but when you share it, that is even better. And your comments are very important too. So when you make comments to us directly, or even having conversation in the chat, that does help the algorithms out there, especially on Facebook and YouTube as well, to continue to grow this channel. Also, James Price joining us from the Private Ike Stone Camp down in Henderson. Good to see James on tonight. Also, Floyd Harvey joining us there from the Keller Camp in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Hope all is well over in Arkansas this evening. Mr. Charles LeRae joining us. Got to see him on Saturday as well at the Nathan Bedford Forest Boyhood Home, and he does have a second comment there. It was great, and thanking everyone that made it possible. It wasn't just one individual that made it happen. Several folks made that happen. I wish you could have been there. Samuel Mitchum telling us that. I wish you could have been as well. You missed a good one, but there's always next year. Already starting the planning on that, and our committee will be meeting again soon, guys, to go ahead and start looking forward to next year. Things we want to do different and add to. Josh Dowdy joining us this evening from Gallatin. Hope he's well. A few more we'll get in here. David Daniels joining us tonight, too, and also Rich Garcia on with us. And hello to our friends down in Florida. Linda joining us, Linda Hudson. I'm sure Roy is there with her as well tonight, and I see he comments a little further down here. So they're both on watch. The question I have for Roy and Linda, are they in the same room watching us, or are they in different locations? That's what I'd like to know. But they're both commenting, but we always appreciate them being on with us. Again, thank you all for watching tonight, and we'll go through some more of those comments as we continue along throughout the program. But let's go ahead and jump in and welcome our guest tonight. Tony Griffin is the Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief of the Sons of Confederate Veterans. And Tony, we're glad to have you tonight. Welcome into the program.
Great to be here. I think it's the first time I've been on y'all's show.
Yeah, we've been working a little bit to make this happen. You've been traveling a lot. I know you're a busy man, so this worked out. And I think I pulled your arm a little bit Saturday. It's like, you going to be on with us? Yeah, we got you on, and we're excited to have you here tonight. We're going to talk about two things tonight. First, we'll kind of talk about what you've been doing as Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief and a little bit more about you. And then we'll kind of get into what your platform is as you seek the office of Commander-in-Chief of the SCV in July. So let's kind of jump into that conversation, Tony. For folks that may not know you tonight, who is Tony Griffin? Tell us a little bit of background. How'd you get interested in the SCV and a passion for history? What started that?
My grandmother, when I was a kid, she talked about her Confederate ancestor, Charles Sweeney from Appomattox, who started out in the 2nd Virginia Cavalry, the Appomattox Rangers, and transferred about Gettysburg time to Shoemaker's Battery of Stewart's Horse Artillery. So I always heard her talking about Grandpa Sweeney, and then I got in the Navy and got up to Virginia. And the first thing I did was go over to Appomattox and visit his cabin, which is part of the park over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got involved in reenacting. And one of the guys in my reenactment unit says, "You got a Confederate ancestor?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Have you heard about the Sons of Confederate Veterans?" And I said, "No."
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
So that was in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined, like, I think my, unfortunately, my application, my certificate says I joined on April 9th, 1992. Easy day to remember because that was Appomattox.
Yeah.
So I got involved in, and all I wanted to do when I got involved in the SCV was, work in the cemeteries, honor our ancestors, do the ceremonies. Never had any intention of being a camp officer or anything like that. Spent most of the first few years working in cemeteries, wound up being a 2nd lieutenant commander. And then they started a new camp up here in Smithfield. And I had moved up here when I got out of the Navy, working for Virginia Power. And first thing off the bat, there was a little hiccup in the camp, and I became lieutenant commander. And in a year and a half, about or so after I became lieutenant commander, I was commander for 10 years through 2018. And then during that time also, I became division adjutant. And as Jason knows what kind of job that is, 2012. So I've been on the Division Executive Council since 2012 with 2 different separate terms as division commander. And then, of course, I was running for Army commander back in announced just before Hot Springs in 2023. And through December, I was hot and heavy running for that.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I get a phone call, or several phone calls from different GEC members that we need you to run for lieutenant commander in chief. And of course, my jaw hit the floor. And first thing out of my mouth was, "I'm running for Army commander. What do you mean?" But they told me that Ron Kennedy had to back out for personal reasons and stuff, and they wanted me to run. And I said, "Okay, give me a few days to talk to Annette about it." And ran for it, and we got it. And it's been an awesome but busy 2 years.
Oh, I can only imagine. And something I like, Tony, that you said starting out tonight is how you got in the SCV, that you started out in reenacting, and then that's where you learned about the SCV.
Yep.
So very interesting to see you started that way first.
Yep, like everybody says, it's best kept secret around the SCV. No one knows about it. And we got to get, that's one of the problems we got to get fixed. And that's why I'll bring it up right now. One of the reasons why we jumped in with the billboard program at National. Virginia had been doing it for a couple years already. And we were doing like 7 to 9 billboards a year. And sometimes twice a year we had some going out. So it's a good way to get our name out there. We have to get that exposure of the Sons of Confederate Veterans again, especially everything has happened since 2015 and 2020 to get our good name back out there in the public. So
you're exactly right. And that's important that folks know who we are, and we're out there in many different avenues. And you mentioned the billboard program that you kind of brought in is your role as Lieutenant Commander in Chief. And let's talk, Tony, more about some things that you've seen go on in the SCV and you're in this role, and kind of what does the Lieutenant Commander in Chief, for those watching tonight, what does he do? What is his role in the organization?
His biggest role is basically he's the chairman, and he is the recruiting and retention committee. And that part of the billboard campaign was to get that name out there, to get people to notice us, and to show the membership that we're actually doing something with the funds that we collect from their dues. And we got a lot of positive feedback from that. Everybody loved the signs, the billboards all out there. And I don't know how much membership it generated, but it sure didn't hurt us getting all that positive identification of our business out there. I mean,
it gets you exposure, and people see you, they see your name. That name recognition is so important. Well, Tony, talk about kind of how you mentioned how you got up, you worked your way through the ranks up. What are some accomplishments that may stand out that you've done as your time, even in the local camp and in the division, things that stand out you've been involved in that maybe you're a little proud of, that you worked on, that you were excited about to see happen?
Well, one of the big things as division adjutant, as Jason knows, that's a big job in itself right there. And just getting the membership issues straightened out and getting everybody to get their dues paid, that's a big accomplishment for the division and for the SCV. So anybody that's a division adjutant or has done that job, I applaud you, because it's one of the toughest jobs in the whole SCV. So thanks all you division adjutants that are doing that job or have done that job. Camp commander, we did a lot of things. We started a scholarship program and gave scholarships out to 2 deserving seniors in our county each year since 2012, I think. We cut it back to 1 big scholarship now for the last couple of years, but that's a nice positive thing. In fact, this year we had a Yankee. Well, she was born in Virginia, but her parents are from like Connecticut and Illinois or something like that. So it's they had to write an essay of what the Confederacy means to me. And her being in Virginia now, she learned, I don't know how she did it, but she learned that we're not the boogie boos that everybody thinks we are.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing to have someone that didn't actually have a Confederate ancestor. I think she was one of the first ones that we've had through that scholarship program that didn't have a Confederate ancestor. So it's good to get those kind of people out there and realize that we're not bad people. Division commander, my first term as division commander from 2016 to 2018 was a little rough. We had to get the division turned back around. We were having a lot of infighting problems, and that is something I cannot abide, is infighting.
Yeah.
We got enough problems with people attacking us from the outside of our organization that we don't need to be fighting each other inside. And I really, really don't like that at all. And unfortunately, disciplinary action, sometimes that's a root cause of those things that we have to see and deal with.
Yeah, I mean, it's fighting.
Yeah, and so I wish everybody would just. You hate to say that, but can't we all just get along?
I mean, that's true. Just we got to work together for a common cause, and it should be about honoring our ancestors. That's what we exist.
If we follow the charge, if we follow the charge given to us by General S.D. Lee, we wouldn't have any problems.
But we've all got different personalities, and we know how that goes.
We're Southerners, yes, we do.
Well, again, Tony Griffin is our guest tonight. He's Lieutenant Commander in Chief of the SCV. And Tony, we're glad you're on with us tonight. I know you've been busy traveling, and we're going to talk more about that coming up after our first break here in just a moment. We're going to talk about your campaign and what your plans are for Commander in Chief, and what you'd like to see is the main man of the organization, the top office that you'll be seeking next month in July at National Reunion. And we'll talk about some of your plans that you've got in the works that you'd like to see accomplished in your time in the seat. And if you'll be with us here for the next little bit, we'll be back and talk a little bit more.
Okay.
All right, Tony Griffin's our guest tonight here on Tennessee Tuesday. And Jason, let's go through our sponsor list now of our show sponsors tonight. Again, we couldn't do Tennessee Tuesday or the SCV Chat Network would not exist without these show sponsors that we're going to be telling you about. So we're going to go through and talk about some of those tonight. Again, you can go through scvchat.com. There you'll find the Patreon link, and you can learn more about how you can become a show sponsor tonight. So we're very thankful for all those folks that have partnered with us here on the program. As we'll start with Dr. Chris Cummings. Dr. Cummings is in Oxford, Mississippi. As you can see, modern medicine, Southern hospitality. Got to meet Dr. Cummings several years ago when he spent some time in Jackson, Tennessee, and practicing here, and does a fantastic job. He's a specialist in knee pain, and gentlemen, I know we all are experiencing that probably somewhere along the way, and he can help you with that. Go see Dr. Cummings. His website is cmc-md.org. And you can learn more about Dr. Chris Cummings. So he's one of our show sponsors tonight. And Jason, tell us about 31st Reg Engraving.
Yes, Southern themed items and custom laser engraved gifts. And this is done by Mr. Todd Terry, who is the California Division Commander. And you can go to this website, www.31stregengraving.com. And you can see on the screen there the great items that they have. If you watch any of the other shows, SCV Chat, or look around the Confederation, the ones that have, and you see Moose on there, he talks about the bracelet that he had made that is his Confederate ancestors. And you can see earrings, challenge coins. Get in touch, go with Todd Terry. I want to thank Todd for doing this, and go visit the website and pick you up some special items.
Let's also talk about Larry McClooney, who was our past commander-in-chief and was also at the Nathan Bedford Forrest Boyhood Home on Saturday with copies of his books, especially the new book, Paradox of Freedom. He talked about that Saturday and kind of gave an overview of the book, and we've had Larry on the program to tell you more about that. So if you haven't picked up your copy, Paradox of Freedom, you can do that by going to booksbylarry.com. That book and his previous books that he has published are available there, and I know he's working on some new material for maybe later on this year or first of next year. So booksbylarry.com. We appreciate him and a fantastic research he has done on Paradox of Freedom. So make sure you pick you up a copy of that, and it's one you'll go back to reference many times. So we appreciate Larry McClooney being one of our sponsors at Tennessee Tuesday. Jason, tell us about Beauregard's Taylor and all they have to offer.
Oh, wonderful group of people, a family business driven proudly, offering authentic War Between the States reproductions, T-shirts, flags, lapel pins, more. You can visit Beauregard'sTailor.shop. And they have some great items on there. Now, I know for a long time they did uniforms. They have slowed down that. If they might still have some pieces, if you're looking to pick up some pieces for a uniform, but not, you can go and visit them. And they do have great flags and stickers, things like that. So go visit them. They're a great group.
Also, the museum at Market Hall in Charleston, South Carolina. They've been there since 1899 in historic Charleston. They're open Thursday through Sunday from 11 until 4. Remember, their motto is that the flag is out. They are open. A lot of great products that are available, of course. They're on their website as well, museum at markethall.com. You can get items from their gift shop, learn more about the different things that are available at the museum at Market Hall. And Jason, we were both there a couple of years ago. I believe all three of us gentlemen were there, and just a great time in Charleston and a great museum to go see. And another one of those museums, Jason, is the Sam Davis Home and Museum in Smyrna, Tennessee. Tell them about them.
Yes, and you can go to the site. This is where Sam Davis is buried, and you'll find out the whole story of Sam. You can go visit the last night that he was there alive, and he had his horse tied up to the rotten tree. You can go and visit that spot. You can go up to the parents' bedroom where he knocked on the window in the middle of the night. And then you can go through the house. When you go in the front door, if you look to the right, that parlor was where he laid in state. And then he's buried behind the house, and you can go visit visit his gravesite. You can also go in the museum they have there that has his letter that he wrote home to his parents. And this is a great site to go visit. There's been a lot of work that's been going on there. And yes, this coming Saturday, they have a storytelling festival. This is the second one. It was for an inaugural event last year. I thought it was very successful, and we decided to do it again and get people to come to and visit the home. And it's going to be this coming Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're having an adult and adult awards, and for children as well, or kids as well, younger ones as well, to get up and tell stories.
And that's coming up this Saturday at the Sam Davis Home and Museum in Smyrna. And again, thank you to our show sponsors. We're going to go ahead and take our first break for the hour. We'll come back and we'll be talking more with Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief Tony Griffin as our guest this evening. We'll be talking about his platform and campaign for the office of Commander-in-Chief after this break as we continue on Tennessee Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Was your great-grandfather a traitor or a patriot? Today's politically correct are trying hard to take away the heritage of the brave Confederate soldiers who fought and died for their land. But one thing is certain, they can't change history. Those Confederate soldiers were fighting for the same reason soldiers fight today. They were fighting against homeland invasion. We believe that the desecration of the bravery, patriotism, and honor of those men should not be allowed. They were outmanned and outsupplied, but they were never outfought. They were proud men who believed in fighting to protect their dignity, their homes, and their families. If you're the male descendant of a Confederate soldier, we'd welcome you to join with us in the preservation of that heritage. We're the Sons of Confederate Veterans. Check us out on the internet at scv.org or call us at 800-MY-SOUTH. That's 800-697-6884. Sons of Confederate Veterans, dedicated to preserving the reputation of men like Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, and your great-grandfather.
There is a place, nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home, constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost. Stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
And welcome back into Tennessee Tuesday. It is a Tuesday evening, June the 23rd. John Blankenship, your host of the program, along with my co-host, Jason Boshears. And our special guest tonight is Tony Griffin, who is Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief of the SCV. And we're going to get back into our conversation now with Tony. And if that's okay, Commander, if I call you Tony tonight, is that okay?
Yeah, that's who I am.
Well, we do appreciate you joining us and taking time out. I know you're a busy man, a lot going on as we're getting ready for National Reunion in July in Lexington, Kentucky. It's also an election year for the Sons of Confederate Veterans, and you've served almost now 2 years as Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief. And a little earlier, we learned more about your SCV career, kind of how you got to where you are today. And now we want to talk about the role of Commander-in-Chief and the importance that role is in leading our organization for the next 2 years. And you're going to be seeking that office, I understand, in July.
Yeah, I am, and looking forward to Lexington. It's as you know, I've been on the road a lot, especially since the convention last year, our reunion in Houston. And this year, especially since January, I've been rolling quite a few miles. I don't think I got quite as much mileage on my vehicles as our two Lieutenant Commander in Chief contestants have, but I'm pretty close. But been all over the place, talking several different reunions, different camps, different events. Especially enjoyed y'all's event at the Forest Boyhood Home this past Saturday. It was awesome. I mean, I didn't have any choice whether I was going to be there or not, because Annette would have killed me if we didn't attend the Forest function. She always says that if Forrest was alive right now, I would be out of the picture. So, you know, she loves some Forrest, but yeah, I think it's kind of a obvious thing that if you're a Lieutenant Commander in Chief, you're going to be running for Commander in Chief after the fact. We got a lot of things.
Let's talk about the importance of that role in the Commander in Chief, and then we're going to kind of get into your platform some. Okay. Obviously, as you said, if you get to the Lieutenant Commander, you're probably going to run. But what is the thing that you see the importance of that role of Commander in Chief? Why do you need to be that person in that role?
I think I have the experience with my 30-plus year background in the SCV and division command leadership and lieutenant commander position now, that I can do the job to be the face of the SCV out there. Not only are you out there promoting the SCV, but you're also the administrator and helping out with the function, and you're the president of the board of supervisors. Basically, you got about 16 members sitting around a table, and you got the gavel in your hand, and you have to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Jason's been there. He knows. He knows what I'm stepping into. And we've talked about a few things ourselves. And I think I got a good team coming. I think we got a lot of good people running for office that'll be on the GEC upcoming. We got a few people that are going to be rolling off. But I think we're in good shape coming up. I mean, I'm not taking anything for granted. Sure. Because someone could run from the floor against me. And if they win, I'd be the first one to congratulate them and do anything I could do to help them. Because there's no ego here about running for anything. I'm just doing what I think is best for the SCV. And that's the way I've always been. Like I said before, I didn't come into the SCV looking for an office or anything. I came in here to do a job, do whatever job I could. I'm still involved with everything at the camp and division levels too. And doing every project I can do in the little bit of time that I've been at home in the last year. So I'm sure Jason knows about that too. Things don't get done at home because you're taking care of SCV business. And Jason lives so close to Elm Springs that he really knows. So that's the only bad thing about where I live. I'm about 11 and a half hours away in Southeast Virginia. So it's, but I made that trip. Well, last Thursday we got down there and visited headquarters and got a few things taken care of there. While we were there, they wanted me to jump on some things, getting ahead of things. But there's a lot of things I'm looking forward to getting done, especially growing the SCV some more. We need recruiting and retention is, like I said before, the Lieutenant Commander in Chief's function, but it's all of our function. It's our job to recruit. And just out there at the Forest Boyhood Home, Richard Garcia had the table set up for the Tennessee division. And the last thing I saw, he had 9 or 10 people on a list that were interested in signing up with the SCV. And that was outstanding. He had 500 people out there, and we had 10. I saw a post somewhere today that said he had 20 people signed up. But that's awesome if he did that in just one day at one event. Yeah. Now, all of our members did that. We could double in size in no time.
Yeah, you're right.
We were all during my first, up until about 2020 or something, we were floating around 30,000 members. Friday, when I was at headquarters, Adam told me we were sitting at about 23,800 and something. We're still low. We need to get that number back up. Donnie wanted to get it, our commander-in-chief, Donnie Kennedy, wanted to get that number back up over 30,000. He wanted to get it up to 35,000. It hasn't happened yet. So we, as all of us, we have to get busy recruiting and getting those people that have been in the SCV back in. Retention, if you look at the delinquent list we got, I think it's over 100,000 members that have joined at one time and dropped out. And I'm sure some of them have passed away, but that's still, if you're looking at even 75,000 members that were members once, why did they drop out? Why have they not rejoined? That's something that we got to attack, and that every division and every camp has to do, and every person in the SCV needs to work on. So that was what my primary goal is, get membership back up. If we have more members, obviously our financial situation gets better too, because people are paying dues and donating money. And it's not all about money. We're to honor our ancestors. And that's why I'm in the SCV, is to honor my ancestor. And I think I can do that best in doing the jobs that I've been doing in the SCV. So recruiting and retention, big thing. Getting all the projects that are hanging out right now that aren't going to get finished in this term or another thing. Jason and I talked a lot about the big one that's hanging out there that we all get asked about all the time, and that's the Forest Plaza issue at headquarters. And that's priority. Get that done. And Jason's working on that with getting bids out for that project. We talked a lot on Saturday about that. There's, if you know, in Tennessee, especially Middle Tennessee, there is a population boom and a building boom there that is tying up all these contractors. And that's one of the big issues I think we got to deal with here. But hopefully we can get this done during this coming term. And that is a goal. Recruiting and retention, number one, getting the Forest Plaza back up, number two. And a part of that too is getting Jeff Davis back up out there too. He got taken down because he was sinking a little bit, and he had to get fixed. And so we're waiting on that too, because the same issues, concrete problems with contractors out there. And there's some other issues can't really talk about here that are hanging over our heads, disciplinary and real estate issues that are coming up that we got to deal with, and already dealing with, but they're not going to get finished before this term is over. So,
let's talk about some things too, Tony. We're kind of talking about the Elm Springs site there. Let's talk about the National Confederate Museum, as that's been completed in the last few years, and it's a beautiful site for our folks that are watching that have never been there before. They need to make plans to come to Columbia and spend a few days there and tour that and tour the site. What can you see? How can we grow and bring more tourism to that site and promote that? Is there a goal to push that even more to our membership, that that's there and available?
Yeah, I think one of the big things I think we still have the billboard out there on 65. I do believe it's still there. Jason's shaking his head. Yeah, so it must be out there. So that gets the people coming up and down, going from Nashville south and what's that city down? Huntsville north. Whichever side of the road it's on, they're getting to see that sign saying that is out there. Getting our flyers in all the visitor center and all that. I know they didn't have any on Highway 40, because I asked specifically when I'm stopping at the rest areas on Interstate in Tennessee if they have any flyers for the National Confederate Museum at Elm Springs. And no, we don't have any. I was like, okay. So that's one thing we're going to work on. Yeah. Jason's writing that down. One of the big things that we got that helped out a lot is getting hired people, part-time workers on Saturday to keep the museum open now. And I think that's doing real well. In fact, when I was there Friday, there was a good number of people there on Friday too. So they said, they asked about that, and they said, yeah, they were busy all day today. So it's a good thing. I think we're getting that name out there, and we're coming better known, and word of mouth from the SCV members too, because everywhere I go, I tell everybody, have you been down to Columbia? Have you been to our headquarters yet and seen our museum? It's, I didn't know what to expect when I first went down there, because I had heard all kinds of stuff about, whatever type of deal. Especially further away you are, everybody thinks, wow, why we got this museum? Why are we paying for this thing? Well, you go to that museum, you'll find out why we have it.
Yeah, it's a quality museum, Tony, and that's important. And
It is
you toured many, I
world-class
toured
now.
many. It's that high level of quality there. It's not just some storefront with a few things hanging on the walls. It's a quality museum.
Yes, it is. It's world class, as I said, and it keeps getting better. And I know Jason's done a lot of work inside it too, with getting the storage things in there up, the display cases and everything. Every time I go in there, I see something new in there. And I didn't get a chance to look real close while I was there Friday. I took a quick lap in there with Eric going upstairs for something, but I saw some new stuff right when I went in. So it's really impressive. Not only do we have the museum itself, but we also have the Forest Graves. We're going to have the Forest Plaza, and we have Elm Springs itself. We have a quality site. It's a great site to visit. I mean, they need to send all the school buses need to go there from wherever in Tennessee. I'm sure y'all, Jason probably knows this. Do they get school bus trips down there now, or
Not with the school system that we
not
have.
with the public stuff?
No, sir, not with the public, but we do have some private schools coming, and we have homeschool.
That's the big thing, probably more advertisement in on this is another thing that I'm pushing too. Jason don't like Facebook and Instagram, X, all the social media platforms.
Yeah.
We're going to be pushing ourselves out on that. We already have had a committee working on the new website. That's another thing that we were hoping, and we're still hoping that it gets done before convention reunion at Lexington. They're having some issues with it. There's a lot of things on the current website that they're having to deal with before they give us something that we can look at. But hopefully they're supposed to have it able for us to see at least before the convention. So I've been told that, and I hope it comes true. But that'll help.
You mentioned communication. You kind of touched on that with social media and reaching out that way. How do we improve communication? We kind of talked out to potential members and how we're recruiting and getting out there. But what about to our membership? How do we reach out to them even more? What's the way to? Is there a happy medium there? How do we fix that?
I think communication between the GEC and the divisions has to improve, and then communication down from the division level to the camps and their members needs to improve too. We had the same issue here in Virginia, and we've improved our website, which has increased our recruiting and retention dramatically. And we're able to get more messages and more stuff out to the camps in our division. And the membership, once they see that we're actually doing something, it's, they're they get more involved and want to know what's going on. We have to put out more stuff on our email programs, get it out there on Facebook and all the other social medias, Instagram, X. I don't know what else there are out there anymore. I'm not a kid, but I still do Facebook, and I had to do that once I got in the SCV. Our camp had a page, and I was admin, Jason. But
Tony, what about our members that may not use social media a lot, that may not be their way of communicating? How do we still reach them to make sure they're not left out?
That one's a little bit harder. The magazine, if they're getting the magazine every 2 months, and I know if you're like me and everybody else, you go and look at the pictures first in the magazine, see what everybody's been doing. Then you go look at the new members. Then you go look at the last roll. Then you might finally get to the articles, and then you might finally get to mine and Donnie's articles. But I've actually been impressed with the number of people that come up and said that they've actually enjoyed and got something out of the articles that I've written, especially since the beginning of this year. And that's, if people would actually use what we have in the magazine too, if you don't get any kind of emails or anything like that, at least read the articles in the magazine to know what's going on or what's coming up possibly. And then the biggest thing with the camp members themselves and getting the information out is for the camp leadership and the division leadership, the brigade commanders, division commanders, all their officers all the way up through there, the Army commanders, to get that information filtered down to the camps so that they can get that information to their members. That's the big thing. Communications from the top down and from the bottom up are very important, because, we got members coming up. I've got people coming up and asking me things, and I'm like, you didn't know about that?
Yeah.
It's you got to. Their camps. We all know we have problems in communications, but that's one of the things too. Is we got to get that fixed, and we've been working on that. I think some of the Army commanders are trying to get better communication systems going with their camps and divisions, and I think we're gonna with the team that we got potentially looking forward here at this next GC. I think everything will be better as far as communications goes and most everything else.
And Tony, that's something every organization we all see. I'm sure many of us are all part of other organizations too that deal with those same things, because you have two different audiences in a way. You have some that are very tech savvy, are only going to use that way, and then some that are not going to use the tech savvy way. So you have to reach both of them. And I think that's a challenge and something we all have to work with.
Well, one of the things that we do at our camp level anyway, in my camp, is before every meeting, we call every camp member and remind them of the meeting. Or if we got some kind of event or something, they'll get a phone call. And especially with these people that don't like using these things.
Yeah.
It's the phone is still the best way. I mean, I know people still don't have a cell phone, and it's rare, but they don't. I agree with that.
Dennis, right before you said that, he had already put that up there. That is an important way. Just still calling and talking to them, leaving a message, and letting folks know.
Yeah, some of these members you might not see but once a year or something like that. And the only way you're going to find out what's going on with them is with a phone call. So it's an important way to keep in contact, especially with some of our older members or us graybeards. There's a lot of us out there now.
There's a comment, I won't say who said that because he sent me a private message. Carrier pigeons, can we implement those?
I thought they went extinct.
They may have.
Passenger pigeons?
Tony Griffin is our guest this evening. He's Lieutenant Commander in Chief of the SCV, seeking the office of Commander in Chief. And Tony, as we get ready to wrap up tonight, anything else you want to put in there? And Jason, you can jump in with any questions or concerns you've got as well. Things that you want to mention that you're working on and hope to accomplish if you're elected in July.
Well, one of the things, not so much. I think I covered pretty much a lot of the stuff that we wanted to get accomplished here in the next couple of years. But I'd like to see more people showing up to our national reunions and to our division reunions. I wrote about that in one of my articles this year, that if you don't send a delegate to your state or national reunions, you don't have a say in what's going on. You don't have a say in who's getting elected. You don't have a say in what amendments get passed. You don't have a say in anything. And you're going to if you sit back and complain about it, you don't have nothing to complain about except to that person in the mirror. So, please, I think we got told Saturday that the registration was up to about 375 at Lexington. It's getting better. But that's still kind of low right now, I think, considering it's an election year. So if you haven't already registered, come on. You don't have to do all the banquets and all that stuff. You don't even have to stay at the host hotel. Come and represent your camp. Come and meet everybody. That's one of the good things about these things is you get to meet a lot of new people, see a lot of old friends that you haven't seen in a year. And that's like out there at the Forest thing on Saturday, man. There was everybody and their cousin was there. And in fact, a couple of my cousins were there.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that about getting a delegate to the national reunion from your camp. And me and Jason were just talking about that the other day. That's important. And we used to see that in years past. I've heard others talk about that. They would make sure they sent one person from their camp, at least to the division reunion. And of course, national, just as important, to help with that hotel cost, just to get them there for, as you said, just nothing more than just the business meeting and being there to vote and being involved in the organization. So most camps, small camps may have a little more difficulty with that, but there are some larger camps that could do that and send a delegate.
Yes, there are. They can. Oh, and another thing, John and Jason, one of the things that I'd like to see even more of, I mean, you're doing a great job on Tennessee Tuesday, and Moose and Connor are doing a great job on the chat. And of course, Sean down in Florida
Mm-hmm.
and David Pope, and I think Michael Hardy too.
Yep,
Has got
that's right. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's in the chat world there is doing a great job and getting our message out there. And like me, I can't always watch it live, especially because of my travel schedule.
Sure.
You can always watch it. Like I watch things after the fact on YouTube or go back on Facebook and watch it again. But watch the stuff. You get a lot of information from watching y'all or the chat or look around Florida. You'll see what's going on out there. And especially if the camps are sending in their news and the divisions are sending their news to y'all,
Mm-hmm.
then you know what's going on. That's another thing. I might be preaching to the choir on some, and some of them go, I don't watch YouTube and I don't do Facebook, so that's out. But, you know, right now I got it on the computer here. I got it on my TV up here, and I got it on my phone down here. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Many ways to reach out, and we're glad to be able to offer this. I'm glad that folks do enjoy it. They do watch. We have regular viewers, and it seems, Tony, every week there's someone new coming on, it's an SCV member, and we've seen a few that are not SCV members that have just called us on one of the channels that somebody shared out. And again, it's all family-friendly content what we offer here on Tennessee Tuesday and SCV Chat and all those involved to honor our ancestors first, to tell history, and of course, mostly we talk about the war between the states, but we do branch out to different history talks at times as well. So it's an important way to get our message out there and let folks know we exist. And having you on like this is an opportunity for the membership that may not get to meet you in person or never get to see you in person. They read your articles, but they get to see you and hear from you. And I think it's a neat opportunity for our membership to be able to use this platform.
Yep, it's a great platform, and glad y'all had me on. Also, I will be at the Griffin Gate Resort in Lexington on Monday afternoon. So anybody gets there early and anybody wants to come up and talk to me about anything, ask me questions, I'll be there. I'll be there all week.
Well, again, Tony, we appreciate it. We hope everybody will come see you in July, of course, there. And again, you're a candidate there for Lieutenant Commander in Chief. And those elections, guys, make sure I got this right. That'll happen on Saturday, correct?
Commander in Chief. We got 2 others for Lieutenant Commander.
Mm-hmm. We have 2 for Lieutenant Commander, and those guys have been on with us, both of them. And I've talked to both of them and let them know we'd like to have them on one more time before the reunion. So in the next couple of weeks, that's what I've got to work on tomorrow, is get that scheduled. In the next couple of weeks, try to get them both on again. And again, we've had others. We've had Forrest Dawes on. We've had James Patterson on to talk about their offices they're seeking for in the Army of Tennessee level. So lots of things happening, lots of folks seeking office. And we always appreciate, Tony, those that are willing to step up and seek an office and do that role. It's important roles. As division commander in Tennessee, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. We're doing it to honor our ancestors, and we want to keep this organization going. And I believe without this organization, our ancestors and our Confederate veterans will be forgotten about. So it's so important that we grow and we continue it and use all avenues, from print media to, like you've done, the billboards, to social media, all the different avenues. They all have a role to do what we do. So the more we can do, and whether it's small or large, we honor our ancestors that way and grow our organization.
Absolutely.
Well, Tony, thank you so much for being on with us this evening. Again, know the door is always open in the future. Anytime you want to be on, have information to share with us, feel free to let us know. We'll have you on.
All right. Thanks a lot. It was great being here, guys. And good seeing y'all Saturday. And I will see y'all in Lexington.
Sounds like a plan to us. We'll be there and looking forward to it. And guys, let's go ahead and take our next break, and we'll come back and we'll wrap up with some news from the Tennessee Division. Stay with us.
When my mother was in college, she danced with Confederate veterans. To me, it wasn't that far away. You know, my father knew this. My mother knew this. Almost 50 years ago, I joined the Sons of Confederate Veterans. In those days, we weren't concerned about saving monuments or any of those things. That wasn't necessary. In fact, none of us had any remote idea that it would ever come up. We can't just sit there and react. We have to be proactive. Or, as Robert E. Lee said, the best way to disrupt your enemy's plans is to strike first. Everyone should do all in his power to collect and disseminate the truth, in the hope that it may find a place in history and descend to posterity. History is not the relation of campaigns. in battles and generals or other individuals, but that which shows the principles for which the South contended and which justified her struggle for those principles. If you're looking for some place to be where you think you're going to accomplish something to save our history, go to the Sons of Confederate Veterans. I'm Thomas Lee Jesse. I'm a descendant of Private Daughtery Gilmer, a Confederate veteran.
Major James Daniel Richardson, 1843 to 1914. Major Richardson of Rutherford County, Tennessee, was a Confederate veteran, statesman, and historian whose life reflected both service and leadership. During the war between the states, Richardson left his studies to join the Confederate Army, serving nearly 4 years with the 45th Tennessee Infantry, rising from private to adjutant and officer. He was wounded during the Atlanta campaign, carrying the effects of that service for the rest of his life. After the war, he returned home to build a distinguished career in law and public service. Richardson served in both houses of the Tennessee General Assembly before representing Tennessee in the U.S. Congress for 2 decades, eventually becoming House Minority Leader. He also became a noted historian, compiling the messages and papers of the Confederacy and preserving important records of Southern history for future generations. Remembered as a devoted Tennessean, Richardson's life stands as a lasting example of service to his state, his people, and his heritage. To learn more historical facts about Confederate veterans, visit TennesseeSCV.org. And welcome back into Tennessee Tuesday. It's June the 23rd. John Blankenship and Jason Boshier is with you tonight. And Jason, we appreciate Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief Tony Griffin being on with us tonight. Great information, and wish him the best at National Reunion, which is coming up in July. And we'll be talking a little bit more about National Reunion coming up in just a few minutes. We've got some Tennessee Division news to talk about. But, Jason, I'm going to let you jump in on this conversation because on Saturday, I got to meet Mr. Troy Massey, and he told me about a program I was super excited to be a part of and join on Saturday, which is the Forest Cavalry Corps. They have brought that back, and I got the medal here. We'll put that a little closer there if you're familiar with the original ones. It's modeled after that, and also have a small medal here that you get with General Forrest image on it that has Forest Cavalry Corps at the top that you can wear, and I'll have a certificate there. And I believe I'm number 62 that has joined. So that's an opportunity you can do. It's a very affordable. And again, we hope to maybe get Troy Massey on with us to talk more about Forest Cavalry Corps and how you can join. And Jason, feel free to jump in because I know the Military Order of Stars and Bars is kind of part of this program. And I know Mr. Massey has been commanding general, I believe, as well of the organization.
Yes, he has. It's just something that some members in the Military Order of Stars and Bars decided to bring back. It's, if you want to say loosely affiliated with the MOS&B, it is.
But you don't have to be a member of the MOS&B to join this.
That is correct. So don't feel like, okay, I have to be a member of the MOS&B or the SCV. Anybody can join the Forest Cavalry Corps. And it's just something that the members decided to bring back just to recognize Forrest for everything he's done. And they have that, have the Lee Society, and there's several more that they're bringing back.
Yeah, I like to see those, and folks like me that love history and just the history of our organization as well. Our past SCV Commander-in-Chief, Lynn Shaw, who was from Brownsville, Tennessee, got this going back in the early 80s. And, of course, he was is it Commanding General is what the head position is called, or is it Commander-in-Chief as well of the MOS&B?
It's Commander General.
Commander General. I want to make sure I got that right because Lynn Shaw also, I believe, served maybe in that role as well. And he brought that back in the 80s, and that kind of passed away when he kind of moved on out and got older. And, of course, he's no longer with us, and they brought this back, and super excited to be a member of that. And we'll be telling you more about that. We'll get some details as I'll talk to Mr. Massey a little more, and we'll get you some contact information if you're interested in joining that about how you can do that. We brought in a couple of those folks on Saturday that had joined as members. I believe Tom Wood had recently joined in the Tennessee Division as a member of Forest Cavalry Corps. And I believe Roy Hudson also had just joined as well, and he'll be presented with his certificate coming up as well. So a neat thing, and we'll be talking more about that as time gets closer.
And one of the great things they did, everybody knows, or if you don't know, Gene Andrews has been instrumental in everything that has gone on at the Forest Boyhood Home. He has worked out there tirelessly for years. He was given an honorary membership into the Forest Cavalry Corps. And Troy Massey found that print of Nathan Bedford Forrest at Parker's Crossroad. And as many people might know, we're building a welcome center pavilion out at the Forest Boyhood Home, and there's going to be a museum piece to that. And Troy Massey donated that to the Forest Boyhood Home from the Forest Cavalry Corps for it to be on display in the museum.
And then, of course, you can see that, of course, Troy there is right immediately behind there next to Gene Andrews. And there's that certificate, and there's that portrait or that print of General Forrest there that will hang there, and some of the other guys that were part of that. And Gene Andrews got a lot of honor on Saturday, Jason, as several individuals presented checks to Gene, but not to Gene personally, but for the fundraising efforts of the Nathan Bedford Forrest Boyhood Home and in several different organizations and members and non-members of the SCV presented donations, and we had those certificates, or I guess checks, I should say, presented on Saturday as well. A good fundraising effort. And guys, if you've never been to the Nathan Bedford Forrest Boyhood Home and the Southern Heritage Festival and Homecoming, I encourage you to be a part of it. There's a photograph. I believe this is from Moose that he did on Saturday, and there's the home, beautifully restored. Shout out to Gene, Levi, and so many others that work out there all the time to maintain this property. And there's the front view as you come up the drive to the home. And we're set up off to the right with vendors and different booths on Saturday for things to sell. There's food immediately behind, and we'll show that. Again, Camp 297 there helping lead with food every year for the fundraising efforts, and that's just directly behind the cabin. You can see a few of those working, and always good food. So again, a shout out to all those folks that make that happen. And here's some of the cavalry demonstrations that took place on Saturday as well. So again, always very popular. And this was pretty neat. I didn't get a chance to really look it over in great detail as we were all working on Saturday. Jason, do you know more about this field ambulance that was out there?
Yes, that was the Camp 270, the John Hunt Morgan camp.
Okay.
They brought that. Now, to my knowledge, and I've been going out there over 20 years, this was the 24th annual one. I missed the first couple. But the entire time I've been out there, I've never seen an ambulance brought on site. So this was wonderful to see that. It got quite a bit of attention. Now, it's all reproduction. There's nothing of it that's original from anything. There's something that the camp does to promote the organization, to promote their camp. It's an attention getter.
And it is. So that was there Saturday. Lots of things set up, lots of things for you to take home. And we thank all those that come and set up their booths. Lots of different heritage organizations were there with us on Saturday. And we thank them, of course, they rent a booth space, and the funds from that go back to the Boyhood Home to continue the efforts that we do there. Again, the national organization, Jason, sponsors the event on Saturday in June every year. And the Tennessee division really takes the role with the committee to help lead and organize the event. And there's a photograph. I think Kevin Witherell got this picture of us. I believe either that or Chuck Broadhouse. One of them got a picture of us. And we're doing a little talking there on Saturday and welcoming folks to the event. A good time. We were all busy. Something we did this year different, Jason. We didn't have a division executive council meeting on Saturday. So all your DEC members were working out doing different projects.
Hallelujah. I tell you, to not have a meeting that day sure was nice, because then we could focus on getting the jobs done that we all had to do. Yes.
I want to say a shout out to Mr. Gerald Moore, who a long time ran the sound for many years at our event. And Gerald was there with us. Me and him got to talk a lot on Saturday. The division purchased a sound system that we'll use at this event every year and over the years. So as Mr. Gerald got to retire a little bit from running sound this year, he was there along the way. And two sound guys talking. You know what the conversation is going to be And we laughed, had a good little laugh about it. If you've ever run sound, the people watching in a church setting, in a concert setting, it's either too loud or not loud enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's both ends. You never hear the happy medium. You know what? The sound was perfect. So any of our sound folks watching tonight will know what I'm talking about. We had some fun with that. So appreciate his many years of service to us. And again, he was there with us. And another one we want to show that he was there, of course, Mr. Ed Butler has been with us many, many years and always at the event, past Tennessee Division Commander. Him and his wife, Miss Pat, recently celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary. And there's a photograph of them from the event. They had cake and their kids were there to celebrate with them and grandchildren. So again, happy anniversary, 60 years, Jason. That's a long time.
Yes, it is. It's a very long time. And Ed Butler, somebody the other day said that Ed Butler was a legend. Legends wake up every morning and wish they were Ed Butler. That's how wonderful Ed Butler is. He is a fantastic man. And if you get a chance to come to the National Museum, and I encourage everybody, if you'll go inside, there's some furniture in there that's cabinet space that Ed Butler built. And it is fantastic. And there's people that come in that look at what he built to where we're holding the rifles and take pictures of that because it is so unique. He is a fantastic craftsman.
Yeah, excellent woodworker. And I like what you said. People look at the cabinet, and I've been there one time when someone was talking about the cabinet. How could I get one of those? They didn't even look at the stuff that was in the cabinet. I don't think they were looking at the cabinetry. And man, he is great and has donated so much of his time and effort to make that happen. And we appreciate him and his long service to the Tennessee Division. As you said, we show that picture one more time. He carries a big stick and he'll say he knows how to use it.
Yes, he does.
I appreciate Mr. Ed Butler and Miss Pat, and a happy anniversary to them. They're always in our thoughts and prayers too. As we all get older and things get a little more difficult in life, we're always thinking about them and appreciate them very much. Let's see, Jason, we got one more that was sent in to us here tonight that we do want to mention. The Jim Davis camp there had a recent event that they were set up there at a festival. They got to come back this year, and there's their booth and different things they had set up. So we appreciate Jim Davis camp getting out there in the community and promoting the SCV and our ancestors. And as we talked about with Tony tonight, Jason, recruitment and retention, so important. And that's a way to recruit, is be in the community and be involved and show what the Sons of Confederate Veterans is about. And it's about our ancestors and get people the real true history. And as our slogan is on this program, because it's our history to tell, and if we know about our ancestors and our history, we should be sharing it.
Amen. And I thank the Jim Davis camp for doing that. And I encourage all camps to get involved in your community. And it does make a difference, because if you will go back a few weeks, we had the event here on the square in Mount Pleasant, and we've had a couple of people contact us, drove by, saw what was going on, started asking questions. So getting out and getting involved is positive.
You're exactly right. We want to jump back into a few of our comments. We've had several comments tonight. We've had such a good program with Tony on with us. We didn't get to all of them in real time, and some of those comments are related to what we were talking about there. But I do want to show a few others that have been on with us tonight. SCV Camp 276. Shout out there to them joining us. Jeff Plummer was also on with us from the Delaware Grays. Good to see him on tonight. Also, Ryan Rogers joining us from Alabama. As always, we appreciate him being on. Jim has been on with us tonight from our camp here in our division chaplain. Also, Rafe Whaley has joined us from the Otho French Draw camp in Union City. And if you're not following Rafe in his YouTube or his Facebook page, you need to do so. He travels around a lot and goes to different sites and war sites and talks about the history of those. I've had him speak before. He's wealth of knowledge. So if you're not following there, he does a lot of videos and very good, interesting information. So make sure you follow him on social media. Let's see. Also others, Joey Nolan was on, past division commander there from Tracy City. I hope Joey is doing well. Joey was with us on Saturday and his family. Good to see his wife and son there with us. So we appreciate them. Kim joining us from Florida in the Kirby Smith camp. He's always on with us. We appreciate Kim joining us. Victor Smith also joining us tonight from the Florida division. So let's see. They're a host of the Rifles, Rails, and History 10-year reunion in 2027.
And that'll be fantastic. They've been celebrating that for 10 years. And I visited down there for the Florida Division reunion, and this is fantastic.
Absolutely. David Pope joining us tonight as well from Camp 87 in Knoxville. Of course, he hosts a program we'll be talking about in a few minutes on Friday night. Let's get a few others here that joined in. Kyle Thompson was with us on Saturday as well. And did I upload that photograph, Jason? I don't know if I did. I may not have. Let's see if I've got it. There was a photo that I believe Kevin Withrell took a picture of me and him together, and it is, and I'm going to upload it and show it tonight. And let's share this one while Kyle is on with us.
Yeah.
We're there at the sound booth, and he's got his Hulkamania shirt. I tried to talk him into doing something at the national reunion with that. I don't know. We'll see if that happens. Some might like it. Some might not get it. But again, we appreciate Kyle Thompson, Kentucky Division Commander, coming down. And I believe that was his first time there to be with us in Chapel Hill.
Good.
So we've got an event coming up in August. We'll be partnering with the Kentucky Division at Fort Donaldson, and we'll have details about that. Hopefully here in a couple of weeks, we'll be talking about that event and may try to get Kyle on with us to talk about that event coming up as we'll partner together divisions and mechanized cavalry and others to put this great event on. Let's see others that joined us tonight. Jason, I want to try to make sure we get a lot of these on. Several folks that we've talked through about throughout the night. Again, great commentary in the chat throughout the show, and we will. And I see Samuel Mitchell asking that more about Forest Cavalry Corps. We'll get some more details from Troy Massey and contact information from him, and we can put that out there of how folks may want to join and be a part of that. Anything else here? We've got
Dr. Mitchell. I've got it, and I'll send it to you. It's $100 lifetime member.
Yep.
And you get the full-size medal, you get the miniature medal, and you get the certificate.
Absolutely. And Joey,
there'll be various events throughout the year that they'll be planning at different reunions.
We'll get some more details for everybody about that. I know you'll want to be a part of it. Joey also says here Chuck Norris was a hero to many, but Chuck's hero was Ed Butler.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that statement. Well, Jason, something else before we wrap up tonight, we do want to mention this has been around a little while, but we're bringing this back, and I'm going to let you talk a little bit here about this. And this is the General Forest 200 Society. We brought this out, of course, at the anniversary of General Forest's birthday, his 200th birthday. There's still some opportunity for you to be a part of this, and the funds go to help with the Boyhood Home, with the Forest Hall project. Talk a little bit about this and how folks can join it, Jason.
Yes. You can go to TennesseeSCV.org, or you can contact myself or contact John, and you can download an application. And the application, it's $200. Okay. And with that, you get that certificate. You get challenge coin, and that's a nice coin. Then you get a patch. Now, a lot of people would like to sew onto their vest, and then you will get a lapel pin. And for $200, and like I said, the funds from that go to the Nathan Bedford Forrest Boyhood Home. Now, when it was originally started, it was limited to 200 people. We have 98 spots left. So if you're interested, and that's it. Once these 98,
they're gone.
They're gone. And it was to celebrate the 200th birthday for Forrest. It was started in 2021. And we've got these. And why don't we use these to raise funds for, like you said, the pavilion that we're building there, the Welcome Center, and to for the maintenance of the home. As you saw, an old home, over 200 years old. So it's going to be a lot of work.
And of course, our camp joined that, Jason, back when that first came out. So it's not just for members only, but if you're a camp and your camp would like to join for the $200, you can do that as well. And Derek Glover saying the same thing here. He's a member as well. So it's a good way to support the Boyhood Home and the Forest Hall project that we've been telling you about. And Jason, I should have put some pictures tonight, but I just don't have them to show. But let's talk about it as we get ready to wrap up. the Forest Hall project that's been underway for a few years now. Lots of progress is happening. We talked about that on Saturday, and folks were there, got to see some of that progress. We've had the concrete pad poured for a good bit of time now. You've seen work start on the front section, which will be the museum office space. Some of the framing was going up there. And then this week, depending on the weather and all works out, they'll be delivering some of the rafters and other parts for the pavilion part of the Forest Hall. That should be starting this week, and hopefully in a few weeks, we'll get that erected and be able to use that site.
Yes, and you're correct. They're going to start delivering the beams for the open air pavilion side of it. And weather permitting, they will start next week. So things are progressing very quickly on this. It's a very exciting time.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of things in work here. You heard what Commander Griffin said about the forest burial site.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movement going on that. Jefferson Davis, a lot of movement on that, and what's going on at the Forest Boyhood Home. It's a very positive time. Mm-hmm. And it's and things are, a lot of parts are in motion here, but I am ready to get a lot of these things done. And yes, UDC members can join the Forest Cavalry Corps.
There you go. And I know lots of folks are interested in that tonight. So we'll be getting more information out there. Just wanted to kind of tease that a little bit, that's out there, and be prepared for some more information. Jason, we do need to mention, of course, the national reunion is coming up. It's not too far away. It's less than a month away. It's July the 15th through the 19th in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm looking forward to being there. My wife's coming with me. We'll have a good week there and do the business of the SCV, do some tours and looking around in Lexington. Again, the Kentucky Division Bluegrass Brigades hosting this event. It's the 131st Annual Sons of Confederate Veterans National Reunion. If you have not registered, you can still do so by going to 131scv.org. You'll find all the registration information. You should note, though, that any of the meals, those have ended registration for those, as those are booked and scheduled. But there's still many other activities that you'll be able to see around the area and do. And, of course, there are the vendors set up. Yours truly and Jason Boshears will have a booth this year, Jason. We're going to have a Tennessee Tuesday booth. I'm not sure how much we'll be there in the booth the whole time, but at least our faces will be there. You'll see us on a banner, and you can learn more about Tennessee Tuesday and how to submit things. And that's a good opportunity to let our membership know that we exist and what we're doing and trying to promote our organization and grow it. So make sure you come by our booth and take something home with you there.
Yes, and I'd like to say something about the 131st, because I talked with Chris Hawkins, and we talked, Chris and the Kentucky Bluegrass Boys, they were down at the Forest Boyhood Home this weekend. If you went and you visited with them, that was a fundraiser for them for the to host in the national reunion. And if you come there and you bought barbecue from them, you were eating bacon. Okay. When Chris and them decided to do it, they got some weaning pigs, and they named one of them Ham and one of them Bacon. And bacon was about 100 pounds, and they brought 100 pounds there and they smoked it. So if you were at the Boyhood Home, you got to eat bacon. Now, Ham they're saying he's going to be between 250 and 270.
Oh,
If you go to, the Saturday before the reunion, they got the free barbecue that's going on at the Bottoms house, which is on the battlefield there. You're going to be eating, you're going to be eating bacon. Well, you ate bacon, you'll be eating ham. So you'll be eating ham there. Now, I've been very proud of Chris on them, because all during the winter, they've been feeding these two hogs corn. Yeah. They've been essentially feeding them, hand watering them. And at one time, they had 12 inches of ice. And I talked to him one night, and he was skating out there, going out to feed the hogs. And this is how, our ancestors back in the day, when they were hosting a reunion, that's how they did it. Yes, they put a hog in the ground. So we're doing what the UCV would have done 100 years ago. So we're reliving part of that. And I want to thank Chris Hawkins for bringing them back. Yeah. Ronnie Nichols, it'd be great seeing you there. I hadn't seen him since the first weekend in June. Yes.
Charles saying the same.
Yes.
And I see Linda jumping in there, and lots of folks.
Yes.
Coming in.
I want to thank Chris Hawkins, and I want to let everybody know, if you bought from them, you ate bacon. Now, if you come to the Bottoms house on that Saturday for that big barbecue, you'll be eating ham. Just thought I'd let you know. And that's a big hog at 250 pounds.
Jason, all this talk about barbecue at 8:20 at night on a Tuesday evening, and knowing there's no barbecue in my house to eat, I don't know. It just kind of makes me mad.
Well, sorry about that. Yes. Yes.
It sounds good.
But it does. My stomach started growling, you know?
Yeah, we get talking about that. You get hungry.
Yes. Yes. But they've been fed corn, got fattened up real well.
It's going to be good.
Yes, it will. I'll be there because I'll be eating ham.
Looking forward to the weekend and the entire week of activities and events, and of course the business session. Remember, it's an election year. You've heard from candidates on Tennessee Tuesday, so take that information back to your camp. Your camp discusses that. Have your delegates there and cast your vote, and who you see as the next person to lead in the SCV and the different offices. And always appreciate all those that step up and want to lead. We're in a time when organizations sometimes struggle to find leaders to step up and take these offices and lead. It's good to know the SCV has good men that are willing to do these positions. So we appreciate all those that have stepped out to make that effort to run and seek these offices. Again, 131scv.org is where you go to if you would like to learn information and go ahead and get registered. There's also a phone number for folks that like to call and ask questions, 502-229-2925. So there's how you find out about the national reunion. Jason, going to be a good time. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you there. We've got a good week of activities. Always a reunion is a time of fellowship, doing business of our organization, continue to grow it, and it's going to be a good time.
Yes. And my camp at this past June meeting, we did our voting for who the camp wants for these different positions and what amendments. Those that are coming, those are going to be casting votes. Make sure that you bring your credentials form. Make sure you have it signed by your camp commander or your camp adjutant, because people need to be there to vote, and you'll need that credentials form.
I see that J.R. Price has a question, and J.R., if you need me to, I'll text you that phone number and just reach out to them directly and answer that question. He mentioned it has not been cashed yet or has not cleared, and when he mailed it. So he can send me a text, JR, and I'll get you that phone number there from that. And you can reach out to them directly, and they should be able to answer that question and find that information out. So look forward to seeing everybody there. Jason, again, our statements have gone out, our invoices for membership in the Tennessee division. You should have that in your mailbox. I know I've got, and I'll show you one, got mine I believe that's mine there, you can see. That has now made it out. So you should have those. If you don't, they should be there any day. And Jason, you've worked hard to make sure those are ready to be out to our members.
Yes. And when you get it, now people say, well, your dues are due at the end of July. That is true. So you're going to have about 6 weeks to get all your payments in. Now they do allow, and National is very generous in the fact that they allow a 1 month grace period. So you actually have all the way through the end of August. And I know a lot of people always wait to the last bit of August to send it in. But just as speaking from a camp adjutant and a division adjutant, it makes it easier when dues come in a little at a time, other than going to the post office and there's a note in there from them saying you need to come to the window, and you go to the window and it's a stack of them this tall. Okay. So if you get it and just go ahead and process it and send it on in. We would appreciate it.
Of course, with our national organization and divisions as well. We're speaking to all those in all divisions now doing this. It helps your division and your national organization with cash flow too, if you send those in along the way, and not everybody does that. Again, it's a business. It operates like that. So that's important. I can say our national dues for our camp are paid. I've paid them all online. Jason, I've got to cut you a check for our division members and send those to you. And again, get ahead of that, get that taken care of, get your dues caught up and get them done, and keep our organization growing. That is so important.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, I guess that's all I have for you this evening. We thank everybody for watching tonight. It's been a busy show. We thank Lieutenant Commander in Chief Tony Griffin joining us tonight on the program. Again, Jason, as always, it's great to be on with you. Enjoy doing this every Tuesday. Look forward to it. And it's been a fun show tonight. As past Commander in Chief Tom Strangwood said, we've said all we need to say. We've gone too long.
Yep, but we got one more thing
about we talk so long. So yeah, but we have fun.
And we get that a lot. Yes, we talk way too long. Even the Kennedys were picking at me, telling me I'm long-winded.
You get two of us, we are long. We have phone conversations that last 5 hours that are supposed to last 10 minutes.
Yes. Well, there's so much to say. But we do need to mention the other shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's promo those other ones that come up. Of course, we're here on Tuesday nights and then following us on Wednesday. Go ahead and you've got the list. Go ahead and go through all the shows.
Okay.
And
on Wednesday night. Yes, sir, Commander. On Wednesday night, we have a look around Florida with the Florida Man. That starts at 7 p.m. Central Time. Thursday night, the first Thursday night of the month, is Commander's Comments. The remaining Thursdays are Look Around the Confederation, and that starts at 7 p.m. Central Time as well. On Friday night, Friends of the Douglas South Hall Freeman with David Pope. That is also at 7 p.m. Central Time. On Sunday night, we have Hardy on History with Michael C. Hardy, 7:30 p.m. That's the only one that has a different start time. It is 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And then on Monday night, the flagship show, the one that started it all, SCV Chat, that is at 7 p.m. Central Time.
That's right. Again, you can follow us, TennesseeTuesday.com, to see past episodes. Also, if you have activities and events from your camp, especially in Tennessee and beyond, we will share some of those as well. Tennessee Tuesday Podcast at gmail.com is where you can send those details to us, and we'll do our best to get those on the program. Again, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching tonight. It's been and I'll leave you with this right here because he's going to agree with me. Wise words from Tom Strain. Yes, wise words. Me and Jason can talk all night long if you let us. But I think we've said all that needs to be said. We couldn't do it without you watching. We'll be back again with you next Tuesday for another show here on Tennessee Tuesday. Until then, my friends, have yourself a wonderful rest of this week, a great weekend ahead, and God bless you.